John Henderson Pierre, the Beer Ramble back, living color in the backyard, looking at the Goose Green Line Pale Ale. 5.4 ABV. It's an American Pale Ale style. It's Goose Island, based in Chi-Town, Chicago. To Chicago. As you can see what the beer looks like. I've got the sun in my background here, so forgive me, folks. Nice little color right there. Some good lacing up top. Let me turn this camera around, folks. I'm not liking this setup here. Yeah, it's just not going to work. So I'm going to have to move around a little bit, folks. So forgive me, I'm going to have to go to another location and go someplace else. As you can see what the beer looks like. So I'll probably sit it over here. It's a little more stable. There we go. There. Stable. Anyway. Chickens in the background, as you can hear. See what the beer looks like, as you can see. Nice little head. Nice little head's about almost gone right now. Looks like your standard pale ales. Little, it's a light copper color to it. Ain't bad. So, onto the whiff and the scent. There's definitely a lot of malts to this beer. There's some citrus. This is not an IPA, but at all. But there's definitely a lot of malts sent to this. It's not hoppy, which is kind of good. I definitely smell some citrus in this, maybe a little orange, like tangerine, a little bit in this. So, on to the taste. I said 49 out of for overall rate beer, 44 for the style, 82 score. Again, beer advocate. The Alston brothers or the Bros haven't scored this yet, so that'll happen sometime soon. It doesn't have that IPA taste. It shouldn't. A little hint of it, but not much. It's not. It's pretty mild. So, other pales I've had, I mentioned Sierra Nevada's one. Their flagship beer. That's good. Really good. I think of some other pale ales I've had before. I know that Sam's has one out now. And we've always had one out, I should say. But this is good. This is good. Definitely some toasted malt. Definitely some toasted malts in this. Really giving this thing a lot of very good flavor. Hey, there's not the wrong. Maybe I have the right glass or wrong glass to drink this in, but I have like two other beer glasses I bought for cheap at the one at the flea market, another one at a grocery store. Uh, okay, Goose Island. If you don't know the story about Goose, started in 1988 as a brew pub in Chicago, and about around 1994-95, they opened up their brewery and began to sell beers mostly throughout, not just throughout the Illinois, throughout in the Chicago area and throughout Illinois. Began to move themselves, out to their neighboring states, Missouri, Indiana, and and then pretty much then it sort of expanded to the Midwest. And so around 2012, got into an agreement or distributorship, if you will, with Anheuser-Busch InBev in 2011. And now they have basically taken over the company, bought the majority stake of it about 2 years later, I believe. In 2013, or a year later, maybe in 2012. So now they're part of the Anheuser-Busch InBev umbrella. So obviously, with most of these beers, companies, when they start independent, they love to extend their reach beyond their the region that they're in. And with Goose, it was mostly the Midwest. So now you could pretty much find Goose Island beers anywhere across the country. And I'm sure there will be, and with this agreement or this deal with Anheuser-Busch InBev and SAB Miller, I'm sure now they will be reaching other parts of the world, whether it be South America, South Africa, which, as some of you know, has become has exploded as a major beer market in terms of selling and distributing and even making beer as well. So everything, there's always a plan or a some sort of when these companies merge together, there's always some agenda, and the agenda is it's all about profits, of course, but also we want to reach certain areas that we have not been able to reach. So we go in business with this group, and then that will help us out. So with this merger, that's basically what it is. So, of course, their signature beer is the Honkers Ale. This is one of their signature beers. You have the Honkers Ale. You have the Urban Wheat Ale. They have the Urban Pale Ale, the 312, and of course the Goose IPA, which I think is one of their best IPAs. I really like that a lot. And we were selling the cans. They were selling the cans individually in this area at some of the grocery stores and some, not grocery stores, but some of the convenience stores or service stations, which are some were not in the best part of town, but they were available. So I was able to get some of them and try it, with dinner, spaghetti and meatballs, which IPAs tend to be good with things like pastas you know, and poultry, food pairings. So one thing which has always been good with these companies, they've kept everything, that, hey, okay, we have ownership, but we're not going to uh, try to tell you what you need to do. We'll have ownership say, but y'all keep doing what you're doing. You'll keep the brewery and keep the beer stayed in your city, in your area, and we're not gonna, take over. And I think that's very important when these mergers happen. That to keep the location, I don't try to take it out and move it to another place. Um, Now, if the capacity gets big in terms of brewing beer and they need to brew at another facility, then it is what it is. But um, with these companies mergers, they make sure that these beers will stay in their respective cities and where they're being brewed, and jobs won't be taken away. So that's one of the things that is a sort of an upside when these agreements form. So um, I don't very rarely get by a lot of pale ales. If I do, like I said, Sierra Nevada, I would get. I I would definitely get there's a pale ale that Good People makes. I think is very good too. Good People Brewing here in Birmingham, Alabama. Well, I'm in Mobile, but in Birmingham, brewed in Birmingham, Alabama. Good People Brewing Company. Um, that I feel that are just as good, but pale ales are just not something I'm going to rush and going to get. Again, I'm just a guy who likes lagers and you know high gravity beers, but mostly lagers is what I tend to get. And this is something you could bring to a party. Something that you can have at a with dinner. I'm sure you bring it to a party, they'll look at you funny, like hey, where's Bud Light? Hey, where's Yingling? It is what it is. Sweetwater, another pale ale. Um, so those are the ones that I would say I enjoy, but I'm gonna buy them every day. Probably not. Just standby beers are pretty much what they are. Milwaukee's Best Light. Um, those are probably the two, and High Life and High Life Light. So probably those are the four of my standby beers that I will have and enjoy, at home, or to sit in the backyard. I know that my significant other won't touch any of those because she's like, what the hell is this? What is this? What is this? Surprisingly, she drank Coors Light the other day, and I thought, hmm, she'll have Bud Light. That's her only beer of choice. Miller Light, maybe Natty Light. But her drinking a Coors Light the other day, I was like, ugh. But Bud Light is her thing. But anyway, back to this beer. This is good. Pairings, barbecue, whatever's being served on the grill, barbecue wise, maybe some aged Gouda or maybe some, I don't say blue cheese, but something as strong or just as strong as Gouda cheese. Goat cheese maybe, I guess that would pair well with it. Those are the pairings I would say. Anything barbecue ribs, barbecue. You got burgers on the grill, hot dogs, whatever. Not those spices and flavors, and a nice, very strong, pungent cheese. And Gouda is that kind of cheese. So this what I would say pair this beer with. So I'm gonna give this beer. I'm gonna give this beer an 8. So it's a B for me. I It's enjoyable. Maybe maybe a early fall when you have Indian summer, all that stuff going on. Maybe that this would pair well with it. Late summer beer. So so a pretty good job by Goose pairing this little beverage here, this Green Line Pale Ale. If you've had this and you feel the same as I do about this beer, or you don't think it's worth that score that I gave it, leave your comments and statements on the bottom and subscribe to my channel. So, an 8 for me for the Green Line Pale Ale by Goose Island. Join us in Pierre the Beer Ramble. Take to keep on watching, and as always, cheers.